wasn't too sure if this was actually going to be going down today, but the rain did let up for a while, and it is just this like weird misty stuff going on. So I was able to get the garden all prepped to put the garlic in. So got my big old crate of garlic ready to roll. Yeah, so I'm actually going for it because, you know, like it's, I don't know, like 2:45 this afternoon, and it's like, well, what else am I gonna do for the rest of the day? It's not really raining too hard, so I'm just going for it. Like, honestly, at this point, it being October, this is what the days could be like, no matter what. So we're just going with it. Like, it's supposed to be nice next weekend, but you know, it's not worth the gamble, and I still have the entire garden to get put away. You know, I want to take down, you know, all the sunflowers and all the corn and all that stuff. So I have tons of stuff I need to do, so may as well get the garlic in. Whew, I'm out of breath holding that thing up up that tiny little bit of a hill. Anyways, you guys, so here we are. I'm gonna get all set up, ready to get going, and then I will chat with you guys briefly about how I plant the garlic, and then I'm getting right to it because I don't want to be messing around in case the rain gets even more. So I'm gonna get rolling here, and I'll check in with you guys here in just a few minutes, okay? So I'm all set up here, ready to plant the garlic. So behind me I have my garlic in the big crate here, and then I have my line set up so that I go straight, or as straight as I possibly can. I can already tell like my row here is a bit crooked. Anyhow, I'll go fix that up before I get going here. Anyhow, so I'm planting, I decided I'm going to do long rows of garlic until it's gone, and then I will plant the tulips on the other side of it, and do a long row with that too. When the garlic is done, I plan to succession plant in sunflowers down here. So that is the plan for when the garlic comes out next year. Anyhow, so how you plant the garlic, that is the big question. Okay, well, I'm sure everybody has their method to madness that works for them. So when it comes to planting garlic, take a little bit of everybody's advice, everybody's tips, everybody's tricks, and come up with your own, because I think that's the best way to do it. Not everybody is going to be able to grow garlic the same as everybody else. There are obviously some sure shot ways to grow good garlic. You know, you want to have good soil, and you want to have a nice prepared bed and all that stuff. But for me, this is how I plant the garlic. This doesn't mean that everybody plants their garlic the way I do. I have been planting garlic for, I'm going to guess, 8 years. It started in raised beds at my home at the beach, and I planted it there for however many years, and I've been planting it at the farm now for 4. And so this has worked for me. 1 year I planted garlic and I covered it with straw. That year I had 0 garlic come up, probably because I didn't take the straw off soon enough and it all rotted, but they were in raised beds at the time. I'm not really sure. I have never covered my garlic with straw ever since. Now I know that is contrary to popular belief. Most people do put something on top of their garlic. We get enough snow at the farm that it provides enough insulation for the garlic, and the garlic does just fine. So I do not put mulch or anything, no straw, no leaves, no nothing on top of my garlic. It is a free-for-all. We plant it, we set it, and forget it, basically. That's what we do. So how I plant is I plant 2.5 inches deep-ish. I don't measure. I just take my beautiful handheld cultivator, dig up a nice trough here, and I go about 2.5 inches deep, and I plant them about 4 inches apart, give or take. I don't measure, again. I just get in there. I do it with my eyeballs, and whatever looks like, you know, decent. They don't need to be planted too far apart. They also, you don't want to plant them right beside each other like the egg carton style. They do need space to grow. So you want to do that. So anyways, you guys, that's how I plant my garlic. I don't want to waste too much time because I want to get this garlic in the ground. Now that I'm here, I'm like, all right, let's do this. I'm ready. So, so I'm going to get cracking here. I'm going to put us on a little time-lapse video here while I head down my first row, and you guys can see how it's done. I'll check in with you guys here in a minute once I get this row in, and then I will show you guys how I do the next row. So we'll check in a bit here. So you can see here my first row of garlic planted. This row fit 100 cloves. They're all about, 4 inches apart and 2.5 inches deep, give or take a little bit. But yeah, so that's my very first row. So I do one row at a time. And so I have this, you guys, this trusty thing is a lifesaver. I don't even know. It's been around for a bajillion years, I swear, and it saved my life. It basically is my power tool. But yeah, so I'll leave that there. I'll go dig up my next row. It doesn't matter whether you cover it or not right away. They'll start to get covered by going and trenching in your next row or whatever. So yeah, it's not a big deal. You can save it till the end, whatever you want. But you want to make sure you have enough dirt around that you are able to cover them with a decent enough amount of dirt. So, make sure when you're making your ditch or your little trough, that you're kicking up as much dirt as you can so you have a nice space to drop them into. And then you're also going to have dirt covering on either sides of, into your next row or whatever. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple, basic. I think there's a lot of intimidation when it comes to growing garlic. Honestly, I took a workshop with the garlic garden and they've got it down to a science. They farm acres and acres of garlic, which is amazing. And I took a workshop with them one time. It gave me so much more confidence in what I was doing after I took that. But it also made me feel like a little stressed, like, oh my gosh, what if I don't do this? What if I don't do that? And that's why I want to stress, like, growing garlic is a very individual thing. Yes, growing, there's obviously systems to growing stuff. But for you and where you live, in your climate, in your growing situation, like, you have to find what works for you in your space. And so what works for me doesn't necessarily work for the next person. And I just want to stress that, like, don't feel like you failed if it didn't work out for you. Just keep trying, because you can grow anything. You just have to do it and try and learn from your mistakes or learn from your, whatever didn't work one year, and keep going, because, find what works for you and your groove. Because yeah, this is I'm thinking like 8th year of growing garlic, and I think I have it pretty down pat. My garlic comes up, like, probably 99% of it just grows, and it grows beautifully. So, and I honestly do not do a whole big bunch. Excuse the wind, you guys. When it comes to, my garlic growing, I ensure that it is weeded properly so that it has a nice space to grow. If I have to put a tiny little bit of fertilizer down, I do that in the springtime when it comes up, and I like to do it when there's about 3 or 4 inches of the green showing. And after that, I leave it. I just let it kind of do its thing. I like a decent sized clove, but I don't like the huge cloves. One, I like being able to work with, a nice sized clove, but I also find the flavor is much more intense for me when you have just an average sized bulb, not one that is like an elephant garlic. To me, I find has less intensity than, say, this, my Mexican purple garlic, or your porcelain, or your Russian reds, or whatever you're growing. I just find the flavor to be just a little bit better. So that with that all in mind, just my biggest thing is just get planting. Like that is just the biggest thing of it all. Get some garlic and get planting. Make sure you're buying garlic seed, like locally grown garlic, because then the chances of it growing better for you are a lot greater than it not. Like if you go and buy it at the grocery store, there's a good chance that won't even grow, because I mean I think that they're genetically modified to sometimes not be able to reproduce. So just buy some garlic locally and plant it. Anyways, I'm gonna get cracking here, you guys, and keep on going. We'll check in a bit here. Have about 500 cloves of garlic planted already in this little space here. So I'm actually gonna hop over about a foot of space in between my rows that I've already done and starting a new row. So this will give me an opportunity to have space in between the rows to, you know, work up and down or whatever, so that you're not, you know, stepping on everything. So I have 4 rows together here that are really like fairly close together, and they make, you know, they'll make one big kind of big row there. I'm going to split it up by putting a row of or a foot between this section and the next section, and then I will plant more. I underestimated the amount of space I was going to need. I'm like, oh, this will be plenty for 2,000 cloves plus the tulips. Not a chance. I'll be lucky to get all 2,000 tulips in this space that I've cleaned up. So that gives me more work to do next weekend. But next weekend it won't be so crazy because I'll just have to work up an area for the tulips, and then I will be able to just do the tulips next weekend, because I don't think I'm going to be getting them in this weekend here. But that's fine. This is a huge job. Getting the garlic in the garden is humongous, so I want to get that done. And you know what? The sun is coming out, you guys. We have not seen the sun since Friday, and so it's so exciting that it's coming out. I hope this is the end of the rain. Honestly, we need to get harvest done. But yeah, so this is glorious. So I'm just going to keep planting away and keep on going here. I'll check in with you guys when I'm all done, because it's kind of the same rigmarole continuously for the remainder of the garlic. So I have tons left to plant. So it's going to take me a bit of time, but I will get it done tonight. So I'll check in with you guys when I'm all finished up. Well, you guys, I have 1,000 cloves of garlic planted here today, and you know what? I'm running out of space. So I'm gonna have to put things on hold until next weekend. Oh my God, I got dirt everywhere as per usual. Anyways, I'm gonna put things on hold till next weekend, and I'm gonna finish the other 1,000 up, because I'm gonna have to expand the space by maybe a few more feet. I could fit in probably 500 more in the space that I have, but I'm gonna have to work up another area. So with that being said, I am gonna wrap up this video because I'm gonna wrap up the garlic planting for this weekend. I have to pick, I'd like to pick some tomatoes here. We might get frost this week, and I'd like to go pick what's remaining before it gets dark, and we're getting there. The sun does go down fast at this point in time. So anyways, if you guys have any questions, comments, anything like that, feel free to drop me a comment in the comment section. You know, I don't know everything about growing garlic, but I have successfully grown garlic for 8 years, and so I mean, if I can help you out in any way, shape, or form, I'd definitely be willing to, you know, kind of chat more in depth about the whole garlic planting thing. But I really think the biggest thing when it comes to planting anything is to just do it. And so I've mentioned this many times before. We are in Zone 3B. We are in Saskatchewan, Canada. And if you are in Zone 3B anywhere, this is a good time to start planting that garlic of yours. You know, the ground isn't thawed or frozen yet, and so it's a perfect time to get out there, get the garlic in. The nights are getting cooler, so yeah, this is a great time. Get those cloves in the ground, and honestly, just watch them come up in the spring, and you know, take note of what you've learned, and just do it. Just get out there and just plant the garlic, because you know what, it can seem really intimidating. There's lots of little things to know, or that you think you should know, that are going to make a big difference. But the biggest thing you can do is, again, just buy some locally grown garlic and plant it, and just start from there and see how things go. And that, honestly, that is your best teacher, especially for where you are growing your garlic. You know, where I grow, even here at the ranch compared to where I grew at home, completely different growing climates. It's crazy, but it is the way it is. So anyways, you guys, feel free to, you know, get involved in some conversation and ask some questions, whatever else. And in my description, I will definitely put the information, as much information as I possibly can, regarding how I plant garlic and all that stuff. And so if you want to refer back, whatever, you can kind of check it out there. But yeah, definitely give me a like if you like the video. And that's gonna do it for me today, you guys. So have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will talk to you very soon. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.